In the US, it is common to use a colon after the greeting in very formal emails and letters, as well as in first communications. This is a part of a style known as mixed punctuation. In Europe and in standard business communication, you can just use a comma after the greeting. We do not place a comma after the word dear. It modifies the person's name. But if you use an interjecting greeting before the name, it needs to be separated with a comma. So, hello, Mr. Harris. Good morning, Dr. Harris. And greetings, Professor Harris. These types of punctuation are used in formal and semi-formal communications. There is a style called open punctuation, where you can omit most commas, periods, and colons that you would normally have in a formal style. For example, you can simply write "Hi, John" and skip both the comma after the interjection and the comma at the end of the greeting. A growing number of companies now use open punctuation, but unless you know that it's acceptable, do not use it. Of course, the more informal your communication is, the more you can omit any punctuation. Either way, it's best to be consistent with each recipient. In the email closing, also known as the complimentary close, we usually place a comma right after the closing statement. So best regards is followed by a comma in mixed punctuation, but you could skip it in open punctuation. There are three types of dashes: a hyphen, an N dash, and an M dash. The last two names come from the width. The N dash is as wide as the letter N of the same typeset, and the M dash as the letter M. A good formal rule is to use more commas and fewer dashes. This rule is specifically referring to the M dash, the widest of the three. This symbol is typed using Shift-Option-Dash on a Mac and Control-Alt-Minus on the numeric keypad on a PC. The M dash can serve the same function as commas, parentheses, and colons, but because it is considered more intrusive, it should be avoided in formal emails. Apostrophes are used in place of missing letters in contractions. Those are shortened words or word groups. We'll talk about apostrophes in more detail shortly, but we should mention one important rule here. Do not use contractions in formal writing. So do not write won't, write will not. And don't use intel for international, and so on. Of course, in your informal emails, you may use contractions as much as you want. Another thing that you can use in your casual correspondence is multiple punctuation marks. For example, 3 exclamation points or question marks, or any non-standard combination. Just remember that this is not something you can use in a formal email. So our general punctuation rules are 1 or 2 commas in the greeting, a comma after closing, more commas and fewer dashes, no contractions, no multiple punctuations.